Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fesley, part 5, continuation on how I took this guitar right over here and turned it into this guitar right here. Okay, we're outside. Guitar's on the stand. I just took a 1x4 and then ripped it down to the neck size. And then just a 1x2. You don't have to have a dowel or anything. You know, this is 1.5" plumbing pipe, 1.5" T. On this side you can see the 1x2. You don't need a handle. I put just a shim in here to hold it in place. And we're getting ready to paint this. And I believe I don't even need to rotate this thing the way I have it. It should paint up just fine. All right, getting the lacquer back out. Okay, so is it working? Okay. This is about 3 hours of dry time. Much better. I'm liking that. So take your little ones off first. Oh yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Because those are the ones you put on last. All right. Talk to you guys later. Check out my website, PastorSteveW.com. Read the book, The Truth About You and God. Okay, so I got it to this point here, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and make the Frankenstrat instead of just, the 78. I love the way that it turned out as far as the 78. And like I said, if you're not going to do a 78, these small pieces right here, you don't even have to do, because he originally used tape for the 1/8" stripes, and they're basically all going to be painted over anyway. So either way, I guess it doesn't matter. But I mean, you could just take a pick guard at this point. I mean, pretend the green tape ain't here. I think I have a still shot of this. And there was your 78 eruption right there. We're going for the Frankenstrat. So that's going to be in there. This right here was actually the pearl pick guard that I got from the Fesley. And so it's got that shield on the back. I just painted it black. Gloss black with some paint that I got at the local hardware store that will paint over plastic. I think I actually even had it in the garage. Here's the back. And I just looked at videos online. This one was called making a Frankenstrat from a cheap Strat copy or something like that. And he had the best pictures in there. And none of them are perfect. Nobody's are perfect except for the guy that actually replicated the original one. But from this point, we're going to take it out. We're going to put it in the backyard. Going to take it out, put it in the backyard, and paint it red. It's exciting. So then I'm going to wait. I guess I'm going to wait 2 hours at least. That'll be 9 o'clock tonight. And try to peel the paint. And if it doesn't go good, I'll start on the back. And if it doesn't go good, I will wait the full 3 hours, which I did when I did the first one. But I really love how it came out. And at this point, I think this is what I did last time too. Very lightly. Sand again with this double lot Scotch-Brite, just to make sure I don't have any oil or anything in here. Just very lightly, and then I'm going to wipe it down with a rag. A damp rag or I just want to make sure that there's no oil on here. And I did this last time and it came out just fine. All right, no sense watching all that. So we'll get back after I'm take it out in the yard and spray it. Okay, let me get some more light on here. So I only waited 2 hours on this one. It's like 10:30 at night. And I had some major problems because the first paint that I bought, I started spraying and it quit and it started spitting out. So I ended up with this matte red lacquer paint, Rust-Oleum. I didn't have the matte red before. It was more like a racing red or whatever, but I like this better. But I started spraying it and the can like quit, and I had like some spots and stuff down on the bottom, and I had to go back to the auto parts store, which was closed, went to another auto parts store, which didn't have any, went to another auto parts store, and this is where I ended up with this. And I would have bought this color anyway. And it was a little bit darker than the other one, which is great because I think it covered up possibly any mistakes. So we're going to see what happens after 2 hours. And if this starts peeling funny, then I'm going to wait another hour. Hold on, there is one over the top of this. Hey, you guys get the picture on this? I'm going to continue with this. I mean, there's really no sense watching me for however long, but we'll see what it comes out in the end. But this is the beginning of a new creation here. You know, it's not an exact replica, but it's beautiful and it came out really nice. So this is what I'm debating. Should I put a clear coat on this? And I think, and I already tried this once when I had it down to the style of the 78 and it actually melted, but I think I used the wrong type of paint, so I had a chemical reaction and I had to start over. I mentioned that in another video. So I'm thinking about clear coating this. So I'm going to tape up a small section on the back with all three of the colors. Here's the back. And see if it, you know, hurts the paint or not. But I think if I was to do this again, and I might, because you see the small ones originally on the 78, Eddie didn't paint the small stripes. He put them on later with pen striping. And so that made this different. And I'm not going for an exact replica. I just looked at some YouTube videos and picked the best one that I could read. But I think it looks great. And I think another thing I did is I added this white stripe going around here, which I think was on the 5150. But I like that. I think it looks beautiful. And I'm really happy with the finish. So far, I mean, I'm really happy with the guitar. I love this neck. I mean, I can't wait to play this thing. Look at this, the contour in here where you can get up on the frets. It's just awesome. Yeah, I just screwed the neck on there temporarily. I wanted to see what it looks like. I can hardly wait. So, I'm going to try a spot on the paint and see if I can clear it, because I was in Guitar Center looking at the 5150. I mean, not the 5150, but the Frankenstrat, and it has a clear lacquer over the top of it. I don't know if it's lacquer. It looked like a matte finish. I looked it up on the internet, and they say that it is supposed to be a satin finish. Okay. The claw. 2 screws. In here, you know what these are. I'll put those on next. For my strap, or you could get those hooks if you wanted to. Depends how original you want to go. I mean, this is the fun part. My wife's screwdriver. Gotta say, I use my wife's tools so I don't lose them. Feed that through the hole. It's a ground wire. Right. Gotta find my springs. Okay. So, I like putting my springs on evenly. And I only like using 2 of them because I want that trim level to glide like butter. Get this wire out of the way. Not so sure I like the way they... That'll work. Can do that. This guy over here. I don't know. Do I want it there? Doesn't really matter, but as long as they're even, you want them even. You don't want 2 springs, you know, going this way and then one going this way, because the one in the middle has different tension than the other 2. So whatever you do, you keep it even. There we go. Let's do that. That'll be all right. It just sits in there. Okay, so. Let's see. I don't think I needed to dive any more than that. We'll find out. Otherwise, you can get in here a little bit. But if you look at it, the front of this guy here is actually tapered. So it dishes up so that when you dive it down. Now, a traditional Strat does not have that. Of course, it doesn't have a 2-point either. The original ones are just flat. Wilkinson makes theirs so that it actually goes off on a plane. And this is perfect right here. So one of the reasons I bought this guitar is because it had the Wilkinson bridge, although I've never tried this one before. The WVSVG Vintage that I have on my Kramer Beretta Special is awesome. I've never used a 2-point trim before, but so this is the Frankenstrat of the pre-Floyd Rose, because a lot of people are intimidated by Floyd Roses. I like them because I know how to work on them, but I understand the appeal. I like them all. So next we're gonna have to put the neck on. Okay, so here's the neck. It's got the skunk stripe, flame maple. I love it. You saw I put these tuners on here. These are fender locking tuners. And I think I mentioned this before, but I took this bone nut off here. And let me see if I have it. So it came off really easy. I took a block of wood here and lightly tapped with a hammer. And the same thing over here. And I don't know that I needed to, but with it, one of those X-Acto knives, I ran through there. But I took this, it came right off, no problem. So they hardly had, or I don't even know if they even had any glue in there. But this is actually a bone nut. Had I known that, I might not have. There's the glue. Thought about changing it. There's a nice focus. So that bought a brass nut over at I think it was Reverb. I think this is a Geiger or something. But and I'll put a link down there. But it just fits so perfect. It's just unreal. So we don't know yet until we get the strings on here whether I'm going to have to do anything with this yet. When I put the clamp on the back of that, I bent one of these guys here. So I actually bought, keeping in with the brass, a set of, they're in here, brass roller string trees. So when you're clamping, you give your piece of wood on the back. Might be a good idea just to take your string trees off. And here's these brass roller string trees. That is pretty cool. Right there. And this is going to be like it. All right, cool. Okay, there's the two roller trees. And now we're going to put this neck on here. Nice tight fit. My brass nut just fell out. Might be good to just maybe to put a clamp on that. I don't know that I need it. I got this nice pad here where I can really push down. I love this. Right here, I'm going to do that on my Kramer Bread Special. Kramer Bread Special has a narrower piece here, so I'm going to have to cut the original one that's on there and then just take it off. And I think I can do it without even taking it off the guitar. What all do I have in this bag? I got all kinds of stuff in here. When we get done with this guitar, we're going to give it the Ed test. And the Ed test is, I'm going to dive that tremolo down as low as it can. And bring it back up and see if this thing stays in tune. Now, I'll tell you, that's the way I play guitar. And if you want to sit here and, you know, tell everybody how great a guitar is, and you don't do some serious diving on the tremolo, of course the guitar is going to stay in tune. And I played this guitar, excuse me, probably for, I don't know, maybe an hour a day for about a week. And no, it does not stay in tune. It will if you don't play Eruption or something like that, or you just lightly are tapping, you know, on the tremolo with some small bends or everything. But no, I mean, what's the purpose of that? So we're going to give it the Ed test. And we're going to see if it stays in tune. So, and these guys telling you that these locking tuners don't help your guitar stay in tune, that is a myth. It's an absolute must. So what happens is when you, and I'll show you this later, but you're wrapping the strings around your post and putting them in there. When you dive that tremolo down, all those wraps, right? So you got 2 or 3 wraps or whatever, they loosen up. When you put the tremolo down, they loosen up. And then when it comes back up, they tighten back up again. And there's just too much room for air. They'll cross over each other and everything else, and your guitar will not stay in tune unless you get yourself a pair of locking tuners. Absolute 100%. You need locking tuners. Go across this way. I think I still have this on the small one. Don't want to strip those screws out. And you want to ensure that they're tight. You don't want them too tight. You have to check the straightness of the neck, and I'll show you that. Make sure it's on straight. You have to shim it. I mean, I checked it when I bought it, so I think this is just fine. Very happy so far with all that. Not going to put the back cover back on. Woohoo! Let me see if I can get this in here. Very nice. That's, you know, just room for a pick guard under there. Sometimes I'll route mine out and drop them down. I don't think I can with this 2-post. But with this neck heel right here, I don't think you need to. Seems to have just hit the microphone. Very nice access up here. So it's hard to get a complete shot of this. I got a mess here. All right, so we got to figure this problem out right here. We get some blocks of wood in here, and I'm going to figure out the height. But in order to do that, we're going to either get some strings or like I'll probably I have an old set of strings. Actually, I have a brand new set of strings that I stole a string out of. And so I can just put 2 strings on here, and I'll put string 1 out on this side right here. Let me get in here where you can see it. I'll put the low E on and the high E and bring them down and put them into the tuners. And then what you want to check is the angle right here. You don't want one like here going this way. This is how you make sure that your neck is in. All right, I got a couple of strings here. 24 and 16. I use 9 gauge. Yeah, I know this is not the E string. But this is what I had left in the package. So we're just going to string these through the back. And we're going to ensure that our neck is actually straight. And then we're going to, from here, we're going to be able to determine how much we got to block in here. I kind of like this being white in here. I know on the original Frankenstein that it is black. And then I do have that red block that I had in there when I painted it. But, so we're just going to use these 2 strings to line this up. So, this one. And this one. I don't think either one of these are wound. All right. You're going in here, and you just fish them through. This is why people don't like Floyd Roses. This is much easier to do it this way. Of course, when I say that, I can't get that through. Let me just go ahead and pull this one through one at a time here. Coming out front. There we go. It's coming out the front. I've got another table now that I'm going to set up, which is much larger than this. I had cracked them all. It's the first time I ever used these tuners, so. There we go. I like that. Okay, so what you gotta do, like I said, I should switch over to my other desk. This is like my YouTube studio for my preaching videos. I need 2 separate ones. And I'm thinking about making just a separate channel. So let me do this and I'll show you. Okay, so you got to make sure that you have them unlocked all the way far enough. I thought I had it far enough to get the string through there, and apparently not. So then you just pull the string tight. And then just lock this down. Okay, and let's back this one off really good. line it up. This guy is going under the string tree. Oh, well, guess what? This goes to this side. Hello. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm liking this. I'm not going to have to change anything as far as the height here. That brass nut. We're going to put this guy. Okay. That's in underneath the... Let's take a look at it. On there. There we go. Ghost Series. Fesley. I like it. I like the height of the strings and everything. So what you're looking for right here is this the same distance? See, once you get the nut here, from here to here, from here to here, you want to make sure that your strings aren't on there crooked. And like I said, this neck fit really well, and I don't think there's any adjusting that needs to be done here. So I'm saying that's good. I am saying that the distance that the strings are with this nut is about perfect. It's perfect. And so I like it. And that's not an E string, so. Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, I mean, the clearance is wonderful. So we're going to not have much to do. And that's what I was hoping with this guitar. So then we'll find out if it'll stay in tune. These aren't the right strings here. Once you get them all on there and everything, I can come up on that string. It's slight buzz, but I've already checked this neck and everything, but I'm going to recheck it. Make sure that it's straight. It was before I took it off. Adjust the truss rod. I have already leveled the frets. I had 2 that I just had to tap. And I'm liking it. So now, I'm probably going to get some wood and put it in here. Yeah, I could see a problem doing that there. So I don't want to go completely full on wood. But I got to figure out how to get this pickup in here. I'm sitting here talking, you can't see it. So I got to fill those. And we want this pickup at a particular height. So right now, obviously, it's miles away.